Hello Blender folks, welcome back. This is Gnomes. Welcome back. In this time we will do something that I was already doing, but this time I will conclude, I hope so, this process. Neo-Vetruvianism is a neologism, actually Vitruvian man from Leonardo da Vinci, you know that drawing, that croquis sketch where there is a human on certain pose with open arms, open legs, and sort of interesting historical creation. Leonardo da Vinci is an inventor, an artist, a scientist, a genius of the old times. And anyway, so I'm calling this Neo-Vetruvianism because this is beyond the notions, the conventional notion of A pose, T pose. There's not even, this is the pose for the rest position of the mesh and of the deformed bones, at least that I want for this character. Why is that? My experiments on Neo-Vetruvianism suggest that this is one of the best rest positions for good deforms on the shoulders and on all the bendings of the leg, from the front bending to the side bending to the back bending. Of course, what we have here, I haven't made the transition yet, so this means that the rest position for this model, for the mesh and for the armature, or at least part of it, it's still this one. So this is an older one. It's already, in my opinion, it's better than A pose and T pose regarding perhaps regarding this, not sure about the shoulders, but the joints, yes, because then there is already a rotation on the joints. The ankle rotation is not that relevant. It actually can be useful, but it complicates sometimes with the advanced foot rig. So there, yes, the hand also, the way I'm doing this, it's complicated, so I'll not enter into details, but and so yes, I'm doing this especially for the shoulder, and the arm then will have all the this I've already tested both for the shoulder and for the leg, and apparently this is one of the best solutions which I could find. There might be even better. This one is okay for the frontal bending and somewhat side bending too, but it's very bad for the back bending. This would require shape keys or a very some work on corrective deforms, whatever, helper bones, whatever. Depends on the corrective method we use. But so this is bad for the back bending of the leg. This arm rest position works, usually depends on the complexity of the mesh, I guess, but it doesn't get a lot of horrible deform. However, this one is much better. However, what we are seeing here, the current state of the mesh is not what will be final, because those are just some poses that I've made to change the rest position through that process that we're gonna make here, and it will mess up some of my bones, and then I'll have the mesh on this rest position anyways. I'll have to make some fixes on the on some things that might yes, the foot, that's especially the foot, but the rest will be fine. I'll have to get used to the new rest position as well, and of course I'll have to edit the rest position of the mesh to better suit this starting new rest position that I will have. So all these bad ugly things here will be all reshaped, and this, from that rest position, all the other transforms in principle should be better. So here currently I have a few questions, and I didn't have time to test everything because it takes time. I'm not sure if we could put this like up like this. Is this better, or if this could be okay? I believe this is okay. Then I'm not sure if perhaps it would be better to get this back or slightly front. What I know is that it's not good that it be like a frog pose like this. So this is not good. But this one seems to work, and I believe this should work fine, but this might be better. But I still don't know about the that what would be better here. The frog position I showed, I believe it's bad because this means that there will be some y-axis rotation, the roll in here, and this will cause major disruption because the deform, this twisting is already, this means that there will be lots of twisting even for the normal pose, and this twisting from the rest position will cause major deforms on simple pose like for the leg. So we don't want all this twisting. So because the leg usually doesn't twist sideways, the thigh, or backwards, like it's not natural, inwards also, so it's good that the thigh is rotated, twisted forward. So we don't see now the bone, but this will be not so much about the bone, this will be more about the mesh. However, if we were to check the this is an interesting question. If I were to check the roll, well, the roll seems to be pointing forwards. Okay, so this is fine. And so for this exercise, that if it works properly, if I'm satisfied, it will be my solution. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't attempt later experimentally something that could be better. Maybe this is better, but so far I remember this worked. And for the rotations there, this we can also retwist those features on edit mode anyway. So I'm choosing to use for the legs and the arms the not an operator, but the conjunction of operators, because it's faster. I just have to repose and it will make the job for me. But it caused some disruptions, especially on the clothes, so I'll make sure that I'll get this thing fixed, because after I apply the pose here, apply pose as restful throughout the bones, it's lost, I think. Everything, if I didn't make the process for the clothes, which are not very well developed, then they will be, they'll suffer some, they'll suffer, yes, I'll have to reshape everything manually, because then I will have already changed the rest position for the mesh and for the armature. Okay, enough said, let's see what we can do about this. Maybe I could, yeah, let me just make some slightly adjustments here. It should be okay to have the joint inwards, even though that sounds less natural, but it should be okay because it's more about the thigh here. And I know the pole angles will get all this, so I want to have more. Yes, so then the joint will be better. So something like a 90 degree here will be okay. What about this foot? I want to be like, I want to simplify this. And never mind everything here, the other bones will get this better. So then adjusting here, and okay, and trying to align as best as possible here. The leg is slightly backward, but it's not necessarily bad. Let's see from a side view, something like that. Yeah. Then here, where is the okay, the bolt target for the knee could be something like that. Slightly rotate here, trying to align as best as possible, and then this could be rotated slightly more to align here visually. Yes, okay. So even though this foot is there would be a high heel rest position, but this is another topic that long time I don't address, so this should do. So I'm gonna save here and make even a next one, because that one would be a reference of the pose that I'm working with. So let's use this naming here, and now let's risk it just a little more here. Yes, because this character will have a very athletic pose, and I assume I want that the character have lots of flexibility, and then for action stuff I like expressive characters, and then exaggeration, although not necessarily stretch and squash, but in animation we use it, it's valuable. So what I was going to work yet, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but that should be enough. So let's start. Let's see how many clothes should suffer. Well, we'll see in real time anyway, so there are some. Alright, so let's go here and start by using the method. So as you know, Shift D, Control A. Alright, this is for the body. Don't worry, that's normal, it's just like that, so this very annoying thing. So clothes shirt, the shirt is not moving a lot, but yeah, I believe it should. Okay, let's do it for the, then there's the division in the middle. So here some have, oh, the boots will be important, accessory belt, okay, then spalders, gloves. Our gloves are very important because the hands move a lot then, just like the feet. Then cloth legging, yes, this is important. And then we see something quite phenomenal happening there. Close sleeve, this is easy to fix. Pant is easy to fix. Bra easy to fix. And then after all this is set, we just go on pose mode for the armature, and we don't touch nothing. We just get, I don't even need the selection, we just go apply everything, apply as rest pose, apply this pose as rest pose. And here we go, folks. So let's do the hide the clothes, then let's yeah, although I'll have to fix the splitting vertices that happen because of the mirror modifier for some reason. I hope for the character there would not be the same thing. The character has not been suffering from the ripping vertices for some reason. Usually it always happens, so I'm not sure why, but so let's see. Okay, no ripped vertices, but I'll just make sure I get, why I do not, oh, normal, no, when global. Alright, just making sure. So we have now this fresh rest position. Of course the armature will go all crazy, so if I reset the armature. You see it doesn't reset anymore. And I need now to address some things. Usually, well, the bones, the mechanism bones, you see they kept aligned. This is not what I want. I want the master leg. This is the bone that in principle, so they aligned naturally in principle. No, there are some huge unalignments of the system here. This got broken, so this can be slightly complicated, but we'll fix that later. This one, I'll pick this bone and I will this is the foot, right? And usually what I need to do is just to pick some bone that is pointing forwards. I don't have one so anymore. It was okay, so let's do this, add a new bone just for rotating x90. Let's align this with yeah, okay, so this should be, and then I do this, then this. Let's delete this for a moment, and yes, this is risky. Let's see what will happen. It's not risky, I mean, this is yeah, could get some issues. Yeah, of course I need to fix the mesh. Currently there are things that might be going wrong with the rolls anyway, so yeah, that's why I didn't want to do this immediately. Okay, so this is not what we want, because what I need to do, you see I've changed this and the rig, the contraption here, I'll follow, but it's not in a very cool way. And for the hands I could do something similar. If I'm not satisfied, I could just get this bone aligned with, I don't know, maybe this one. Then we put it here and whatever. Bring it back to where it was, so yeah, something like that, right? And yeah, we'll have to fix that later anyway, so doesn't matter. We are going now to adjust the fundamental thing, which is like sculpting, right? I'm gonna just start to reshape as best as I can the model in this new rest position, and this will be the game changer, besides of course the fact that this is already a new rest position. So it is crucial that besides the fact that there is this new rest position, I reshape this as in a very organic way. So this can take some time. This is why if we want to appreciate the best results for this technique, this method, we need to, here what I found out, for example, is that we can, this apparently works, we need to have part of the buttocks showing here behind, so this is below, I mean, and then to give enough deforms, to, no, not deforms, to allow that the buttocks get good shape on the back bending, we need to also make some developments here. And I don't know why this is too small. Alright, so now there are many things here that are a bit complicated to reshape. Like we can literally spend hours in this, but I have already some practice, so I think it will be rather fast by smoothing, transforming, and yeah, sculpting. I could perhaps use sculpting, but this is low poly. I have more experience with really remodeling. So here apparently I need to I need to smooth out all this thing. This is start to have some kind of gap, right? So we need to sort of align these faces so that of course there will be some level of, so this we must be very careful about the shapes here so that things look good in such very already very radical pose, right? If we get, the good thing here is that it shapes already the buttocks, the gluteus and the butt mesh, and it also shapes here, which is something relevant, and it shapes the part of the leg, the thigh, in ways that as the thigh will rotate from this state front, it already has got all this advantage on this very complicated region here of the joint of the hips. So I haven't explored enough, I just know that it works. So and for the buttocks there is enough shapes for the buttocks to occur, to adapt, right, to the thigh, to not wreak havoc to the buttocks. There are some correctiveness that might be required still, but you see on subdivision surface modifier we start to get a nice shape there, and it's okay that it might be sometimes may look a bit exaggerated. The idea, in my opinion, is exactly to exaggerate from this rest position some of these features, not too much but just enough so that like you would be in this case really a girl that goes to the academy, right? And so yes, so these shapes are very important to be very even muscular, right? So that we can benefit from the best adaptations as the deformed bones rotate. And so here this region is very delicate, so we need to pay attention to it. Again, I'm not 100% yet of what are the best of the best, but my experiments in organic rigging already tell that to counter the horrors of the skinning algorithms, of course shape keys, I'm starting to think that thinking shape keys as new rest positions. I think this is the really, it's not that I'm abandoning the idea of armature deform rigs, no, I think it's cool, but after I'm too much experimentation, my conclusions so far is that rest positions, smart rest positions, so that's why Neo-Vetruvianism are the best thing we can use, the smartest thing we can use besides shape keys. Yes, because shape keys, they although they won't remake the rest position, unfortunately. You see the shape, how it's starting to get good in this nearly frog pose of the legs, and this is what we want here. And here I have to adjust this part yet. There are more things to develop, more flesh to develop and muscles to develop here, I believe, and so that inner part I can reshape there. I made a different mesh topology there for the stretching of the crotch. not absolutely required, but could be helpful. I was already thinking that I could make a better mesh topology there, so I've seen that and other characters, I guess. Then this part must go a little here, the crotch, but it's too, yeah, this should be smaller, right? And then yeah, I could spend a lot of time here. This is very, especially here, we just want yeah, this is looking strange. This could be simplified. Drawing is much simpler, yeah, but the most important is this thing. Yeah, maybe here I need to push the buttocks with some shape here along with the leg, so something like that. There should be this curvature so that we have this kind of yeah. So here we see that the buttocks are not although here looks fine, here it really looks like it's not working properly yet. Oh, I'm not in proportional editing, so let's fix that in a moment. Yeah, taking care not to make too much. I'm not trying to make here something sexual or overly sexy. I'm just taking care of the shapes so that they are they look good on the style that I'm making. Yes, but if we are looking to make the very sexy style, well, there's a lot of reference we can use and skills we can adapt. Here I'm more concerned about the not the bulk shape of the things, but I mean the how do you say, not realistic shapes, I mean also feasible shapes regarding the deforms and the maintenance of the yeah, this is protruding, and so yes, this is fine. Oh, this thing, yes, so this region can, it's too the crotch region is too inwards. There should be even a male or female. There are some bulge here in the crotch region, but if I just do this, I'll get this. So I lack mesh geometry, so that's why I will have to, yeah, I cannot use the, it should be something. Then if I rotate, yeah, it must be something like that, but I don't like the output. I was able to do something good eventually, but here is more important. So, and here, this, I could have better, another, yeah, if I could have, this looks like that I could have a better mesh topology for this part, right? I could make it now, but we can leave it for later. So for now, just to make sure that I won't forget it, I'll make some sign of this thing that I want to, I'll give it some very critical color. So yeah, so this will remind me that I want to do something about here. I something like get a crossing face loop, like something that will go like this, perhaps go in between here, and then it would make some, yeah, something crazy like that. Yeah, yeah, exactly this, something that will cross the what I already have. So it will be not exactly an equivalent to this, it will go inwards and will probably improve some aspects of this for the deforms of the stretching. So let's see here, maybe now yeah, this is fine. How about this part? Yeah, the belly could get a little more to the front. Then here, now it's too much, and this part could go front. I don't have much reference here for skeleton and stuff, so it's more visual ideas that we need to, so it might not be accurate, but we get, if we get the shapes like this, how do you call that, it's with I name, the bone here, this point of the bone that sticks outwards here. So this shape is working. Yeah, this is very, very important here, because from that start position, it doesn't mean that we can't have some, how to say, mesh going inwards here, but it's very important that the connection here is good enough with the hips, so that when, of course, this is the, so then this will make good front bending too, and of course the side bending is already should be as best as we can, because there are no deformations in here immediately. It's the really the rest position for this. And then the hips here are a bit too big, so for this character design, so I need to readjust here, maybe push inwards. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, now I see I have probably made the leg too bulky, too massive. And let's see now. Yeah, this, I'm nearly finishing this, at least for the here. I don't know if we should make this flow start to reach for the buttocks on this side. Perhaps this could be a smart move, and here it starts to go inward. So yeah, some questions here. And this mesh also, I'm concerned of on the buttocks region, because it gets even with this thing, it is hard to get. Yeah, so I see here. So maybe here what I need to do indeed is to rotate this in some way that I would allow me to get a flow here of the mesh like that. And then there is this connection, which, because I don't have face loop going there, so this could be, this makes the job that I'm doing here slightly more difficult. But I want, yeah, I need some sort of thing like here that will, here you see, maybe here what we want is something more fluid there as a, so let's do something like that. The problem is I'm never able to align the faces very well here, but we're getting to it. I believe this flow here is very crucial. And then for the bottom two, except for the bottom, there's already, yeah, I think the shape is getting, now we can, sure, perhaps I could make some changes here. Let's see. Yeah, no, maybe we should maintain this like that. So many doubts here of what would be best, but whatever, this looks already feasible. It's not perfect, there are a lot of problems, especially maybe I made this part too low, right? And so if I move this up, then this won't look so strange now. She looks with a gigantic thigh. and this can be strange, so maybe I need to reduce here some things. Alright, let's see, this face loop, wait, is, as I say, this could take hours, but I'm nearly finishing this part. Hold on. So yes, I just am concerned about the hips here being too large, starting to get better. Then maybe I should pick this, and this also maybe is responsible for this effect, right? Because I've tweaked that too much. Alright, yeah, here lots of volume loss, so this is not particularly interesting. We're getting, yes, so I see. Let's do something more inwards here. Let's even, do we have, yes, we have the, and okay, now this part is really up. We need to put it down. Alright, so this is more likely. Then here, let's push this leg, and yes, and maybe the flow, yes, this again is the face loops that I have here. They are not very good for the thing. This should go like that, right? I should remake this. Yeah, you know what, let me get some idea here. So yeah, I know this is crazy, but that's it. I want to make sure that this is a kind of face loop that I'm lacking. I need something that crosses here, and yes, it's not too difficult to do something like that, right? Then I have this possibility to easily reshape this. The face loops are all going, okay, this is not a bad idea here, but also it's not enough. I have something that needs to cross then the other side. Okay, this is okay for now. We're gonna address now, this should be quick. There wasn't too many deforms on the, bad deforms I mean, on the shoulders region, so I just need probably to make some readjustments here. We can probably use some reference here with these things. Let's see. Yes, okay, then could be this one, and then and also this one. Alright, let's see what we can do better here. So we must remember that the arms are, I could have made these arms even more for up, and of course we can do this manually. Like, this will be the technique. It's not too hard. Sometimes for arms and legs it's not hard. Actually, hold on, let me hide the head for a moment. And yeah, this two, I don't know why it's not selecting. There are too many things going on. Okay, so the idea, if we wanted to make manually, and I can still use it for, like, let's say want the arm to do that, so of course the bones will be lost. So you see, it's just get this as a pivot point, cursor, and there you go. So it's not hard with limbs to do so. Then we just have to fix some meshes there. But it's not the problem then doing this is that we have to reposition the bones on edit mode, while if with the other method, although it causes lots of, it's way more complicated, it has certain advantage, right? But if I were to do it again here, I would probably do the mesh. I don't know, maybe not. Alright, so here, because if I had made the shoulders even more up here, I would have even the possibility to have a better rest position for the arm. So here was my mistake. I thought this was good enough, and actually I didn't check my last achievements on this. These sharp edges are more for reference of some skin that I want to, you know, for the armpit, right? They are just more visual reference. So yes, actually solving this mesh here could take some time on this new, but more than I thought, because we can make it really look good, right? If we take enough time. And currently there's a great risk that the anatomy gets some bad propositions as I as I do this rapidly. You see, there are a lot of things to tweak on this change, and also things to consider, like here how I will reshape the arm here, and also the shoulder gets all messed up. Not all messed up, but I don't remember now exactly how I would do it for. Okay, I see, but it need to assess, right? Reassess everything. Okay, so apparently this is a very important loop. Okay, all these are very important loops. So I can, this time I have a fortunately it's easier to solve these things, because the face loops, maybe not all, but many of them are helping. So we can, yeah, this one helps a lot, so I can minimize that effect. The armpit can go inwards. Then I can probably, this is risky, yeah, we can't do that. We should instead use these ones. Let's make some alignments here. This could go inwards to this vertex in particular, not too much though. This is having a wrong rotation. It's like, should have something like that, right? And should this go inwards? Yeah, it's not let's take off the proportional editing, make some exaggeration. I don't need much more than this, right? And we must be careful not to exaggerate, right? To have some Alright, so we are getting to it. Yeah, I used to have better shapes here, so don't know what's going on. Well, it's not bad, actually nearly fine on a first quick look. Proportional editing should help, especially on bigger size, and there is this torsion here due to the bendy bones that I have. So we see there's some problem with some finger there. This finger has suffered from the... It has a... it has a... How do you tell? It's an armature thing. It has a maintained volume thing, and I think it got doubled or something. Really weird. It's occurs to the other. Let's just make sure. Yeah, you see the mesh is not the mesh. So it would be really hard to fix. But if we were to check the armature, I believe that's the case. The deformed bone for it, this one has got maintained volume. Yeah. Actually, I don't know why that happened. This was not even enabled, but yeah, it was the bone that, and I have cleared this parenting. So strange, but yeah, fixable. No big deal. The mesh topology is simple, relatively simple. And all right, so the arm, I know I can improve it. Let's just give some slightly better shapes for the muscles here. What can... I don't have mesh topology for the muscles actually, but I mean ideal, right? For biceps, triceps, biceps brachialis and whatever here. But yeah, I decided not to make that for this project. But we can still work on some shapes in some approximative way, right? It's not a bad idea. And I should have at this point considered to have vertex groups for what I'm talking, not vertex group, I mean these face loops. I should really consider have some. I've deleted them. Alright, so let's try to get them back. What is this one? Okay, I don't want them to reach the hand, because so let's do this. Not sure this is accurate in terms of muscular, but in terms of it twisted because this rest position is twisted because of the bendy bones that it has. So that's okay. Let's see. Let's use some magenta here, and then here. Yeah, now I want something from the back. We can use even 2 or 3. No, 2. Okay, so actually let's change this color and let's... So this will be like the... Yeah, no, it's very twisted. I'm not sure. I wanted 2 to be the back of the forearm and 2 to be the front of the arm, but apparently there is some... Yes, I can retwist the mesh later, so maybe it's right, but anyways, let's see now the magic happens, because if what I did, if my expectations are accurate regarding my last experiment with this a very similar equivalent pose, then this means that when I use the pose for, when I set the pose, when I pose this character on more neutral pose, or the ones that we want to check, this would have good impact. Okay, so how do we do this? What is the control arm? Control upper arm. They have the same color. You can. I think this one for the. Yeah. This is the major one as this one. Yeah. I have to reassess this. Okay, let's work on this and see. First thing, the front bending. So let's. Yeah, I need to make all these rotations, and I'm afraid, yeah, it's always must be okay. So what do we have here? So I might need this. Okay, so the posing problems is because of the, okay, so this might be a problem, right? It's I had better results the other time. Maybe this is happening because of the excessive, of course there's wave painting, maybe some change could do something. The crotch region is also not very well in this connection. Let's see. But this usually is a very difficult pose, right? So yes, there's having volume loss there, but it's not very believable, yeah, on some interpretations. And yeah, so there are some problems. Maybe what I did that is inadequate is remember that I've made the leg bend something like that. Instead it could be less rotated up, so maybe this was the problem. And I exaggerated unnecessarily, but it's part of the experiment. What we can see, however, is that the character is able to make this very high rotation without with some degree of success, right? It's much better, well, maybe not much better, but the character being able to do this more than 90 degrees already and not completely disrupting everything is a good feat. But it's not enough for me, so I'd expected better. So let's see what. No, I'm not gonna do wave painting here because it wouldn't solve. Maybe it could improve but not solve. But I was thinking about corrective smooth because I've learned that this thing exists. Let's do some, but apparently needs to be. We need to apply some stuff here. So I'm just curious to see if this could be helpful in any way here. We'll take a look rapidly. So factor, can it help us? I think it's not only smooth this. No need the binding, only smooth no. Scale, no. This is dangerous. Factor, lot of factor, and yes, we could use a vertex group there. There's too much volume loss there. Repeat lots of time, only smooth no. I should use only in that region, right? Factor, yeah, so factor here is, what about simple? and scale. No, so not simple. We should use only smooth. No, not only smooth. Then this factor. Okay, let's skip the factor and let's pin boundary only smooth. No, can play with something like that. Factor. Alright, so let's do something like that. Yeah, it doesn't solve everything. Maybe get it slightly better. Yeah, it kind of fix some stuff. Let's make a vertex group. I don't have experience with this object modifier. Let's see if we can use on these. On these face loops, right? Maybe here, all that region. Oh, I've lost the mirror modifier. Alright, so this is why I don't know how to work without the mirror modifier. It's too important for me. This is why also I didn't have used this thing a lot. Maybe there are way to use them in parallel, but okay, I don't know what's going on here. Can I mirror a selection? I don't know. Oh, there is the topology mirror, something like that. Can I? No. Why it wouldn't allow me to make this? Alright, so it doesn't let me. Okay, but what if I just. Oh, I can do this. Alright. So just for one side, well, since this is an experiment, right? It's locally applied corrective smooth, so it's this the critical region. Let's hope that's enough. Let's use a vertex group here, vertex group, add corrective left. Doesn't matter much right now, the naming. Then we pick here, let's use the corrective, and why it does this. Does it need to? Why it gets all deformed like that suddenly? Why it won't apply only to the oh, now it's working. Alright, so what can that help? Only smooth? No. If it's a too small selection. Yeah, maybe it needs to grow, so let's do something like that. Last attempt here, and then we go back here, we can get corrective back. Alright, we see now that this has more effects, but it's not like repeat a lot. yeah, it's not likely it's solving our problem. So another reason I could never solve my problems, rigging problems with that very well. I've seen it can be very useful for combining shape keys sometimes. So yeah, this rest pose, you see how the legs, so maybe this was an exaggeration, and I'm ready to make change all over again for I mean restarting this from scratch because of this, but I haven't tested out the back bending. So even though that failed, we can assess though that for side bending it's not terrible. Oh, we need to check, sorry, the of course the natural pose, right? Because of course the normal pose should be at least feasible or easy to fix. So I don't know if it will be easy to fix anyways. So yeah, there's some strange thing, but but the shapes are not really, they are separate. There are no really, yeah, maybe a bit of interpenetrations there, but this shape is sort of easy to fix with small fixes. The belly is not a joint region, the crotch also is not exactly a joint region, so it looks easy to solve than many other things, but this is a bit concerning, of course. So again, this might have been because of the height of this pose right here. So but you see the okay, so the no need to mention that the side bending pose are great. They are, at least we started like, maybe not great, I don't know, but yeah, they can be as great as we want because this is pure modeling there, what we get from it. And so let's assume this is good enough. However, now let's do what was for me one of the most difficult things, and I'm afraid we won't be getting good results still. Let's look at this. You see where this face loop should be useful. We could even have more, like doing this. Alright, so let's use something here. These shapes for the buttocks and this rotation sounds, yeah, those shapes are not bad. At least this seems to be, no, this is the other pole tart. Hold on. Looks like she's swimming, and so let's continue. Yeah, so then this is something I'm investigating yet, these deforms that are happening on the hips. It's a bit strange. So we see volume loss here as typical, but yeah, this is not adequate, and it's not that easy to fix, but let's say it's slightly better than, no, it's considerably better than what I was having. So it is an improvement indeed, but I'm not satisfied, so I'll have to take notes. This rotation of the foot it's okay, they are difficult because I need to reassess the how the relations between the bones on the advanced foot rig and with the master bone, but whatever, we are able to pose. So we see here that the pose, at least the buttocks seems feasible to some extent here. it's easier to fix. But yeah, it's not perfect. So this shows the following. That rest position is not good enough to start with. There are some face loops I need to create for this character. It allows that there are some aspects that need on the type that need reassessment, and yeah, the mesh topology on the front, I said I should do something like that. Oh, it's already there, right? And maybe something like here too. So let's add this thing here, something like here, right? I guess. And let's give a teal color, right? This is not exactly the face loop that I wanted here, right? So let's do something else here. This is a face loop which already exists. It gives the wrong idea. So let's do something more radical, right? So it would be something that would do this kind of thing. It's not easy to make those crossing work, those crossing faces, but with a little more mesh geometry, I might have to create, right, additional. It will be a bit puzzling, but I like mesh topology, so I believe I have already made something like that other times, so I believe it would be a good improvement. Yeah, so I have to create 3 face flows there, and yeah, so then it's not clear if I can assess this from this, right? If this leg starts lower like that, it means that the front, as the leg rotates front like that, there'll be better deforms here. So faster distancing. Of course, now it's all tilted in the wrong way. Okay, so so there's an advantage here for front bending, from perhaps not front bending, but let's see. This is all twisted the wrong way. Okay, so for front bending, it might be worse, slightly worse, because then this has to be more motion than something like that. However, the fact that this below maybe makes some certain rotations here, or the starting mesh, better to interact with the rest. Then for the back bending, it is probably similar. It might be slightly worse, but what I'm considering is something like that. And even perhaps, what about this? This is kind of, the legs are facing more frontwards than before. They're like diagonal here. This could be bad for the frontal bending, at least on the yeah, this could be there. However, this would, yeah, so this is an interesting one. So I have 2 things to test here. So that, what about this? No, it's this. Okay, I started with some, alright, we know already where I start, so that too much. So not good. So my next attempt will be that, but I'm really curious about that thing and this way, except like that. Yeah, something like that. So let's take a screenshot here, because yeah, and this actually, we see that this thing causes major difference in how the deforms occur, and it's very interesting because we don't have a lot of options, to be fair, that immediately have good solving for those things. And these kind of grant some sort of immediate results, although it usually means that we have to, some parts get worse while some get better. So this would be the other thing that I want to test. What about, yeah, this? Then of course there will be that, but no, I think this is better. And of course we could bring it back. This probably bad for the, but could try to, but that is what I want to try next, or the other one. Actually, I'm more curious about the other one. So we get this, we save, and we close, and that's it for this, how do you say, this sprint. So this is still a proof of concept, and but I'm convinced that this exploring Neo-Vetruvian poses is beneficial. I mean, I'm convinced there are certain poses which should be better than regular A pose and T pose and other slight variations. I believe something more radical. I'm not the first to have considered that. Actually, I've seen someone, I don't even remember, but talking about that or showing something about that. But there's really not a lot of information on this topic, and I think it's really, really valuable. So I'll continue this. I'll stop this one. It showed me enough, and I will go for another one next time, but then I might have made experiments on my own. So take care, folks. Happy blending, and see ya next time for more experimental rigging and all this craziness. Bye.